Hiya guys, Model Muppet here. How you doing? Today I've got probably one of the most potentially interesting dual commentaries that I've ever done with somebody. It's with a friend of mine that I often play online with in various different games, and my friend is from Israel. And we started having a discussion about the political situation in Israel, and I thought this would be a really good sort of piece of insight for us who are mostly probably in the West to have a listen to a point of view from somebody in that part of the world. So thanks very much for joining me, and thanks very much for allowing me to use this as a Jules commentary.
You're welcome.
Now, I'll ask you to start. Can you just give us a very brief outline of the political situation in your part of the world right now?
Currently, what we have here in Israel, it started with the kidnapping of 3 Israeli teenagers on the way home, and after that, after 18 days, they were found dead. And the day after, or 2 days after, I don't really remember, a Palestinian kid was kidnapped and murdered. Well, the evidence are more and more it was by Jews, Israeli Jews. After that, and when they starting to have riots all over Jerusalem, also Hamas have started to fire missiles from Gaza Strip toward Israel, and well, that was the moment when our government said to the Hamas, stop the fire, we will keep quiet, just stop the fire, or we will start response.
Yeah.
Well, it was last week, I think, when the Israeli gave the Hamas 48 hours of stop firing, let's go, let's talk again, let's solve the problems, and if not, we will retaliate. So after that, it wasn't any quiet, and the missile was keep going on the road on Ashkelon, all around Gaza Strip, and this is when the Israelis decided they are starting to not severely bomb, but
Right,
asking.
I'm sorry to interrupt you there, but I think we could end up sort of talking too long about what the actual situation is. I think you've given us a fair summation there.
Okay, no
Now,
problem.
one thing I'd like to point out for the benefit of anyone listening is my friend here is an Israeli atheist. I'm an atheist, and we frequently play together with a fellow atheist from Northern Ireland. Now, I'm Irish by birth, from the south of Ireland, and our mutual friend is Northern Irish. And one thing that the history of Northern Ireland teaches us is that peace will never come about while one side blames another side in their entirety for the actions of a few. And by that I mean, historically what happened in Northern Ireland is a Catholic would kill a Protestant, and then loads of Protestants would feel that this then gives them an excuse to pick a random Catholic and kill them, and so on and so forth, and the violence is perpetuated forever. It will only stop when one side says, you know what, we're going to lay our arms down. And there is something that is called collective responsibility, and this is where the actions of a group of people, the actions of a small group of people are then blamed and ascribed to a much larger group of people. And it's when we assume that all Muslims are terrorists because 20 people flew a couple of planes into some tower blocks. It is when we assume...
Can I say something? Yeah?
Of course you can. Go ahead.
Yeah. About that, I have Muslim friends. I don't think that all the Muslims are terrorists. Okay, I say there is a problem, okay, with some of the Palestinians, that they don't want peace. They want to harm Jews. They want to kill Jews. and some of them are even having the same point of view of Adolf Hitler or worse.
Yeah, I didn't mean to imply that you were one of these people who wants to kill all Arabs because some Arabs want to kill Jews. I didn't mean to imply that. I know you well enough to know that you don't think like that. I'm just
Ah,
talking about in general terms. That there are certainly some Arab terrorists who would love to wipe out the entire Jewish race. I know that. Um, but what I was trying to get across in our discussion is that peace will never come from the Jewish people or the Jewish government acting on behalf of the Jewish people taking out actions that may well kill other Arab terrorists, and that far more people will be recruited to Hamas through an innocent Palestinian getting killed than would ever be prevented by just letting them do it. I assume you've heard of Gandhi.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and Gandhi had this policy of inaction, of almost a passive aggression, of
Okay.
civil disobedience. And when we look at systems throughout the world that have needed to be changed, like if we look at, say, South Africa, South Africa was never going to be changed by terrorism. Northern
Mm.
Ireland was never going to be changed by terrorism. And the Palestinian situation will never be changed by terrorism. And as an outsider, it seems that there are enough factions within the Israeli government who are actually carrying out terrorist activities. What do you have to say to that?
First of all, our government not in any chance are promoting terrorist action. Uh, the other is the most correct thing to say. They say that the actions that need to be taken is not against civilians. The actions that need to be taken is against those terrorists who decided they want to destroy Israel. A lot of times before in the past, um, there was a try to get peace and have peace with the Palestinians, and also to try and help them to rebuild, um, to have a better life. My parents told me stories. Yeah,
Sorry.
it's for the point. It's for the point that when they were teens or after teens, about 20 years old, they used to have Sabbath in Gaza Strip with
Sorry, they
Palestinians.
used to have what?
They used to have Sabbath, Saturday in Gaza Strip and vacation. Not they walk the street. They have friends over there, and this conflict was born later on. It was,
Yeah,
I think, in the 70s,
yeah,
70s ish,
yeah.
around that. And only in the 80s it really started to have this armed uh, resistance, I call it, uh, towards the Israelis and the Israeli government. And I don't know, there is a lot of people over here that also want peace and quiet and to live their life on their own.